Okay, so looking at this, it says note 7-2 area of circles. The difference between what we did on Thursday and Friday and what we're doing today is not a lot. It's a different formula, but we're still using the same kind of ideas. So the new formula is area equals pi r squared. Okay, so if I were to rewrite this formula, this is the most important piece right there. That little r stands for what? Radius. Okay. R squared really means area equals pi times r, okay? Because r squared is whatever times itself, okay? That is a big deal. You're going to need to know the difference between diameter and radius. Yes, sir?
So, if you're just multiplying the radius 2 times, couldn't you just do it a equals pi times diameter?
No. Okay, so what the diameter, if I did the diameter here, what would it be?
10.
Okay, r squared is big difference, huh? So I see your thought process, but that diameter is twice, and we want squared. There's a difference between twice and squared, okay? Squared is multiplying something by itself. Twice is multiplying something by 2, okay? So there's a difference. R squared is 25 and D is 10. Well, that's going to change your answer up a lot, right? So if we were to solve this one, we would come over here and we would say pi is 3.14. Okay, our radius is 5. So 5 squared. So I'm just going to rewrite 3.14 times 25 because I know 5 squared off the top of my head. It's 25. Okay, so 3.14 times 25, I'm going to have to do my multiplication. Remember what we talked about last week? Just make sure that the most amount of digits is on top, and then your smaller amount of digits on bottom, and then count your decimals at the end. So we would do 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 1 plus 2 is 7. 5 times 3 is 15. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. One, two, 1, 2. We should get 78.5. Okay? And since it's in centimeters, here's where it's going to be centimeters squared. Area is always squared. If you're doing perimeter, circumference, it's just whatever, like it would just be centimeters. But area is always centimeters squared because it's like how many square boxes can I put into this shape? Okay? How much shape does it cover if I laid it on the ground? Okay? There are 2 different kinds. So there's this kind, and then we're going to do another example. We're going to skip example 2 for just a second, and I'm going to do one of these. So what is what? We're going to talk about that in a minute. So let's do this one right here. So let's look at exercise 1. Okay, so my formula, I'm going to write it next to everything. Okay, so what is pi? It's 3.14. What is my radius? It is 7. So 3.14 times 7 squared. Okay. Am I going too fast? No. Okay, what's 7 squared?
49.
49.
Right there.
Perfect. 3.14 times 49 is going to be my answer. Okay, so I'm going to come over here and I'm going to say 3.14 times 49. Now I'm going to go through and multiply through that. And then 4 times 4 is 16, 5, and 12. One, 2, 1, 2. And I got area equals 153.86. Now, if you look in the directions, it says round to the nearest tenth. Okay, so what's my 10th? What number's in my 10th spot?
6.
What number's in my 10th spot? 8.
Wait,
8 is in my 10th spot, so I look behind. It's 4 or less or 5 or more, so it's 6, so we're going to round up. So it's going to be 153.9. Now, I had somebody ask in my last class, it's 90. No, we're trying to drop and simplify the number as much as possible. So we don't need to add that extra 0 on there. It doesn't change the number. Okay, if we were talking money, then yeah, but we're not talking money. We're saying what's the easiest way right here. Okay, and then you're going to put inches squared. Okay, so I'm going to set number 2 up, and then I'm going to let y'all work it. Okay, while I'm moving back to the next one. But right here, we're going to say area equals pi r squared. So my pi is 3.14. Now, if my diameter is 25, what's my radius?
12.5.
Perfect, 12.5. 12.5 squared. Okay, here's where it starts to get a little uglier. Does that make sense? Because 12.5 is a lot of digits. So it starts making our numbers, we've got to be careful when we're multiplying. So 12.5, you got to do 12.5 times 12.5 first, then multiply it by 3.14. So 12.5 times 12.5. You're talking about okay, notice what I'm doing. Where did I do my math? Off to the side, and then I wrote my next step down. I promise that will be helpful to you later, so you kind of know where you're at. Like, I wrote my next step. So I wrote my step, I wrote my next step, and I wrote them in a row. That'll help you in algebra a lot if you'll just kind of keep it lined up and don't do your math in the middle of your problem. Just an organization thing just for yourself, okay? So now it's 3.14 times 156.25. I'm going to have to scoot over. Okay, and so make sure you look in the back of the room on the file cabinet. There's some things that look like bell ringers, but on the back side they're blank. I copied an extra, some I didn't copy on the right way. So grab one of those if you need some extra paper to write on, you know, so that would be helpful because it makes it a little bit cleaner for some of y'all that. So here I would put 156.25 on top. Why would I put 156.25 on top? Bigger digits, more digits. Does that make sense? Because 5 digits, I don't want to multiply 5 lines, do y'all? I'd rather do 3 lines. So.
And folks with calculators, you guys should still have this part right here. Those are the only 2 things that you might be missing from yours. Still need to have that.
Are you still recording?
Yes. So I'm just kind of waiting. I'm just going to finish this one and then we're going to go to the other con. There's 2 different cons. Yeah, I'm still recording. I'm just silently working through the problem. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I got 490.625. If you round that, look at my tenth spot, it would stay the same. So 490.6 millimeters squared. Okay, y'all don't have to go through all that if you don't. I mean, you don't have to go through all the multiplication as long as you have this main part written down for me, okay? Okay, so here's where I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back to example 2, so I really need you paying attention here, okay? So example 2 says determine the area of a semicircle that has a diameter of 9.4. Just for, no, we'll just leave it because it's still going to be ugly no matter what. 9.4 millimeters. Okay, so I'm going to draw my picture. I'm going to draw me a circle, okay? And if it has a diameter of 9.4 and it says determine the area of a semicircle. What is a semicircle? Half. So I'm going to do half of it, okay? So if I use my area formula, what am I going to do to the area formula to get half of it? Divided by 2 or multiply by half. This one says multiply by half. I just would rather divide by 2. So your choice, if you want to multiply by 0.5 or divide by 2, it's the same thing. Same operation and everything. So I would say area equals pi r squared divided by 2. That's what I'm going to use. Okay? I think it's a little simpler. You usually handle dividing by 2 rather well. Okay? So pi is 3.14. My radius, it gives me the diameter. So my diameter is 9.4. What's my radius? Half of it. Half of 9.4.
3.2.2.
Keep trying.
Half of 9.4.
Half of 9.4. 4.7. So I'm going to do 4.7 squared divided by 2. Okay, getting kind of ugly, isn't it? Okay, what's happening here? A lot of multiplication work, that kind of thing. So we just got to be careful in how we're doing that. So what is our first order of operations? And I didn't write that up there, but on these kind of things, we follow order of operations. Okay, so is there parentheses? No. So next is exponents. Are there exponents? Yes, we do that first. So we do 4.7 times 4.7. Okay, so I got 7 times 7 is 49, 9, carry your 4. 7 times 4 is 28, plus 4 is 32. Then 4 times 7 is 28, and then 18. So 9, 11, 12, 22.09. So we're going to get 3.14 times 22.09 divided by 2. So still what is it? It's a lot of arm work. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to come over here. 22.09. No, I got to multiply it by 3.1 first. You're fine. Got to multiply it by 3.14 first. I don't want to go too fast, but so I got 69.3626. I don't want to round to the very end. Does that make sense? I don't want to round to the very end, because if I start rounding, it changes my numbers. I don't want to do that till the very end. So I'm going to divide, and I'm going to divide that by 2. 69.3626. I know it's going to come out even because 6 is my last number, so it's going to be even, right?
Yeah. That was very messy.
What's very messy?
The paper.
Sorry. If I switch between the sheets and pull up a white sheet, it kicks it on the video to the end of the video, and I don't think that is really good for y'all to not see all the work. So, yes. So y'all are kind of, so I haven't figured out a way to keep it in the video, like where you just see it all. So, sorry. 34.6813. 34.6813 to round to the nearest tenth, so 34.7. Okay, and it's going to be 9.4 millimeters, so millimeters squared. Okay, so I want you to work number 5. I'm going to stop this video right here, but I want you to work number 5. It's already kind of broken down the picture for you, and it's a semicircle. So if the diameter is 28, what's the radius? 14. Okay, so go ahead and work number 4, please.